we're going to continue this discussion now with CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys. That's Anthony Salvanto. You have fresh new data and polling on how Americans feel overall about the U.S. effort with Iran. What is it showing?
So let's set some of the context coming into all that we've just seen today. And I want to start with this, which is that Americans come in not convinced that the U.S. has permanently stopped Iran's nuclear program. So
by a wide margin.
By a wide margin. So everything that you've just heard from these reports, remember that the American public is still waiting to see clear evidence that that will happen or has happened. That's number one. Number two, and it's related, Errol, is that when folks came into this hearing about the MOU, hearing about the understanding between Iran and the U.S., on balance, they didn't necessarily think it was better for the U.S. One might think that would be the benchmark, at least for U.S. public opinion, but about equal for both or better for Iran. So still some convincing to do for the administration as people watch this going forward.
And what about the president's party, the Republican base? While the general public may not be convinced that the U.S. is getting what it wanted, what do Republicans think about this?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because, as you've mentioned, Republicans have been behind the president. They still are on this. However, there are a sizable number of Republicans, this 40% here, who say that the U.S. should continue to press on until Iran gives up more. And that, I think, is important because when you look at who these folks are, they think that not only has the U.S. not stopped the nuclear program, but also that it's not acceptable to leave the current Iranian leadership in power. And that's something even more broadly Americans have said, even if the administration hasn't said that's an explicit goal, but Americans have been looking towards that as a possible U.S. aim. And there's a lot of these folks, especially within the Republican Party, who think that that's what the U.S. ought to be doing.
Fascinating. And as it shows there, a majority of them, both MAGA Republicans and Republicans, do think the conflict should end now, despite the fact that they support the president overall.
Yeah, and very quickly, too, for also context going into this, there is gas prices lingering over all this in the public mind. This has been hard-hitting for a lot of Americans, so they do see, if the conflict ends, lower gas prices.
Anthony Salvanto, thank you so much. Viewers can see more of that at cbsnews.com.